I've been looking forward to this for quite some time. Going to be filling up the V8 Jetski gearbox with gravel. But before I do that, I want to get an alternator mounted up on this engine. Then I'm going to get into the gearbox. The fuel injection system on this V8 Jetski is not going to work very well without an alternator to keep the battery nice and charged up. I don't have a ton of room in there, so there's really only one spot where it can go. But I'm going to show you that once I've got all the brackets built. There it is. I built that lower bracket to fit the alternator on it. And obviously it would be nice to have the alternator not down there and have it up higher. But I really don't have another spot that would work well for this alternator. There's not enough room up here. Not enough room here. And I mean, it could go right here, but then it go right in the area of strength for the engine mount. So I'm not going to do that. We'll mount it low and we'll really make sure that this ski doesn't get a lot of water in it. Just wrapping my tie strap around both of them, and then measure it out for my measurement of how long I need the belt to be. Going to be installing an automatic tensioner to hold pressure on the belt. So that's another custom thing I'm going to have to install. I looked up a serpentine belt by the length or the size of it, and I went ahead and ordered that so that I can get it installed onto this engine. And I'm not going to install the tensioner until I get the belt, because the belt will really determine where I want to set up the tensioner at. So that's something I'm going to take care of in the future. The engine has to come out of the jet ski hull. I just got to do some work on the gearbox before I can fill it up with gravel. And I'm sure I'm going to take it out many more times before we're done, but it's pretty easy and quick for me to do. I've got the gearbox opened up, and I just want to show you guys what it is that I'm doing. I'm not going to go super far in depth with it, but I just want to show you what's up. Having to make these very small shaft extensions for the idler gears. And I was doing this one, and it turned this lovely shade of blue. I just thought it was cool, so I'd show you. Now I've just got to get this put back together, get that other shaft extension installed, and then I have to build the gasket for the gear case. Then it has to be cleaned. Then I can put it together. Let's see. I do have to install the fill and vent lines, and then I can put it together. I have to build my own gasket for this gearbox because I can't really go down to the local auto parts store and ask them for a gasket for a V8 Jetski gearbox. So I'm going to practice my arts and crafts a little bit and make my own gasket. I did purchase some gasket material so that I could cut out a gasket that will actually fit on this gearbox. I could have just opted to use some sort of RTV silicone or right stuff for sealing the gearbox, but I'm going the gasket route for now just because it makes it a little bit easier if I have to open it up again for any reason down the line. For punching out these holes, a hole punch would have been nice, but I did not have one, so I ended up just sharpening a socket, and I'm just tapping it with the hammer to cut the little hole in the gasket material. do have dowel pins for this gear case cover so that it will all stay nice and lined up when I go to bolt it all together. I've been looking forward to this for quite some time, filling up the V8 Jetski gearbox with gravel. Start with some good old-fashioned metal shavings, handful of delightful gravel, old hose clamp, wire tie, handful of bolts. Get some more in there. There we go. Thing's gonna run mint. Realistically, I would have liked to get some sand, some tree bark, and a few other things in there as well, but don't have the time to get it all shoved in there because I do got to go edit and upload this video so you guys can see it. So I hope you guys are pretty pleased that I made sure to fill up the gearbox properly with bolts, dirt, gravel, metal shavings, and bolts, and a little bit of garbage. So I think it'll work perfectly fine. I'm really not concerned about it whatsoever. And that's it for this one. Make sure to check out the rest of the V8 Jetski videos, and I will see you in the next video. I really thought I would fill up.